to the first meeting of the summer 2026, July 14th, meeting of the Town of Groton Select Board. I'll call a meeting to order. Our first order of business tonight is to review and approve minutes from the last two meetings. However, one of us wasn't in attendance for each of those two meetings, and I believe we have to kick the can down the road unless we're prepared to do a bunch of 1-0 votes to approve the minutes. So
No, we'll wait till next.
yeah, I think we have to wait till next. So I was gonna
Focus
shelve
on
that.
four of us being here next door.
Yeah, and those minutes can be made available by request, or should we put them online as a draft? We do, okay, so they're online, we just haven't approved them yet. Do we have any adjustments to the agenda? Or any requests?
Is it possible to move NK broadband in front of Lisa?
Front of the employee policy, first item.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go behind him if it's all right.
Who's that?
I'll go after him. No mind.
Departments? Or for the Act 162?
Yeah.
And we'll do a department update then too?
Yeah, most likely.
Might as well, right?
Yeah, then I can get out of here.
Alright, so we
Theoretically.
You want to get out of here?
So I can come back at 7.
Alright. Alright, so let's start with the NEK broadband discussion.
And that's out. Lisa, do you still have a copy of that?
Yes.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Just park that afterwards.
Well, Mike, just introduce yourself to everyone
Yeah, you bet.
and your role with NEKCV as well.
Yeah, so my name's Mike Geist. I'm Groton's primary rep on the governing board of NEKCV, also doing business as NEK Broadband. I've been in that role for 6 years, 6.5 years. Wanted to talk about a couple things. First, I'd like to introduce Allison Ingerson. Allison is a Groton resident who came on board at the end of April?
Beginning of April.
Beginning of April. She's a full-time employee of NEKCV and is the person who is running the Groton Connectivity Hub in town. And has been a terrific addition in terms of wrangling that to the ground, getting it launched, and with a very successful, I think, 60 or 65 visitors at the open house at the end of June. So a couple things. One is the material I passed around. As some of you know, a couple years ago, we were awarded a $2.85 million USDA Community Connect grant. One of the items in that grant, it turns out, allows NEK Broadband to basically offer 2 years of free fiber internet service to the towns that receive it, essentially the municipal buildings. And so what you have here is an offer from NEK Broadband to provide fiber to the community building, the fire station, the highway department, and the Groton Free Public Library. It's 2 years free at their 2 gig down, 2 gig up service, which is their highest end package. I don't even know how it compares to the spectrum that's here. It's probably going to be 500 times faster for the town garage than what they have right now on DSL. What you have here is a proposal for the buildings for both internet and phone. The internet, they're including free installation. They're including battery backups for the phone systems in case the power goes out. And they'll handle, the installs and all that. So what I tried to do working with Lisa was map out the different buildings, the different phone numbers. Took a look at that last spreadsheet that you have here is not an official NEKCV document. That's my attempt at outlining and articulating cost savings from current model to the free model for 2 years, and then after 2 years, things fall down to market rates. And after 2 years, our buildings don't need 2 gig down, 2 gig up in terms of service. So, you know, we can drop it down to 100, or even at the town garage, a 50/50 package. And kind of looking at the numbers and that, and again, this is, I think after talking with Gary Lamberton last night from an IT perspective, he seemed to think maybe we're missing a fax line from the library, a fax line from the town garage in terms of some of this stuff that got scoped. So I think we just need to make sure we've got everything apples to apples in terms of what would be potentially changed over. Let's say those 2 other lines don't exist. I think, you know, this kind of runs out to be about a $5,500 savings to the town in the first 2 years. I think by the time you sort of add it up over 5 years, it gets closer to around $10,000 of savings, even when the prices readjust for market rates. So this offer is out there. It's kind of tied to the grant timing now. The library's had this offer out there for, I think, 9 or 10 months to take it. It's good for 2 years. And the clock, you can make this change now. You can make the change as of November 1st, 2026. Once you start getting into December, January, we would lose months in terms of the free 2 years. So that's on the table. I mean, you can decide on that tonight. You can decide on it in the future. Personally, I think it's a tremendous offer. It's a little side benefit of this Community Connect grant that we got. That can save the town money, but also in the cases of the fire department and in fact all the facilities offer better service and better connectivity. The phone systems are unlimited long distance. They run about $39 a month with taxes. Call forwarding, you can port your numbers, but the long distance savings, and this is long distance within the US and Canada, is bundled as part of the package. That alone saves on certain phone numbers, you know, anywhere from 20 to 25 bucks a month.
Sounds like a great deal.
Yeah, seems pretty straightforward.
I would like to say welcome to Groton too. I think I got to the open house late, and I think it's really exciting that there's someone else working in town, like a new place for someone to have a career, and I think it's really exciting that you guys are able to provide a position in Groton. I think that's awesome. And then service. I mean, it's coming down the roads. I think a lot of people started connecting. I'm getting connected, I think, next week. So I don't have any experience with NEK broadband other than them coming and digging up my yard and turning the line in. So, what do you think, Larry?
I have it already out to West Groton, which I'm thankful for. No, it looks good here. It's we aren't going to get used to the 2 gig and not want to go to 100.
It's spoiled.
Yeah, I mean that would.
I personally don't I mean, the library is going to be probably its own case, right? So they're
Yeah.
going to want a higher speed.
Yeah.
And if you look on that little spreadsheet there, there's a what I thought and what NEK broadband thought, especially, would be appropriate for the different buildings.
Yeah.
So I don't think the town garage is going to miss 2 gig.
Right. I don't know about here.
Yeah.
I probably just would miss it because they were used to a certain speed.
Well,
Yeah,
at the time, we can just pick the plan.
You can pick a plan. We can up it if we need to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can ratchet up, you can
Yeah.
ratchet down.
So-
Price difference is like $40 a month or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I think it's $59 for the 50. I think it's 79 for the 100. It's 103 for the 500, and I forget what the gig is.
Gig is $119.
119. Yep.
I don't know.
And the other thing NEK is kind of saying in their documentation is the prices aren't gonna go up, the prices can only go down.
I don't know what it takes to get out of, what are we in for a contract? Did we ever find out with Spectrum or?
Nobody's asked me to check into that.
I don't-
I don't think we're
Is
in a
there-
contract.
I've never
There's
had
no
one.
contract,
I
we
don't
can
think
just
so.
cancel, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, all right, I mean,
I don't recall a contract.
Actually, the lake people don't have Spectrum, so no, does anyone in the room have Spectrum and canceled? No.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
I consolidated and canceled, it's,
Yeah.
they don't, my understanding, it wasn't a problem for you, Larry, it wasn't a problem for me, it wasn't, that's what they do, they switch, you know? So I had called, for the fire department to get information, and the only thing they needed to know was who was our current, carrier, so that they could schedule a switchover.
so
it
you
wasn't-
called NEK? or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, before this, you know,
Before.
a month or so ago.
Yeah,
And then this opportunity came.
how do we get to the fire department?
The fire, how do we get to it?
Yeah, are you gonna run a cable up?
Well, they're gonna send a scout team out to look at the property.
Cause
is
we
what they'll do.
can't go overhead.
And they may have come in and looked at it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that assessment is, so I guess there is some contingency in case there's some
Yeah,
funky hookup required, but I haven't heard that. So I think that would probably be the next step, which is to validate the connection approach to the different buildings.
right,
Um,
yeah,
and make sure, I think the library just got registered in the system today. And then Lisa and I registered the community building and the town garage late last week,
Yeah.
so.
no, got my vote to move
Yeah,
forward.
it seems like a no-brainer to me too.
You know, NEK's right in town here. with
We
the
have a
office.
board member.
Yeah.
You know?
And I would,
We don't have a board member on Spectrum.
I mean, I would also point out, like you guys are saying, it makes sense. Groton was one of the founding towns
Yeah.
in NEK broadband, you know what I mean? So I think it, in that case, it certainly makes sense, you know, for the municipality.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing to say, and the more of the softer stuff, but important stuff, is NEK hires locally. There's hiring Groton residents, they're hiring other Vermonters, they're a nonprofit. And it's a 72-town communication union district across the kingdom and central Vermont right now. So it's Vermont towns working with Vermont towns to bring fiber and high speed to their communities.
And you've succeeded, and here we are, probably switching to fiber tonight. So I'll make a motion that we continue the exploration of switching to fiber, so take the next step. And I guess we can have a little more discussion if there's any thoughts against it.
The only thing I've got is, we tried our best attempt to identify phone numbers and things like that. So if there's some hidden fax number somewhere or something like that.
Do
And,
you
and
fax anymore? Do people?
Yes,
You
yes,
get-
they do.
Really?
I get emails from Mars.
Yeah.
I don't know how it does it. We don't have a fax machine, it's just, I got an email, it's like, you've received a fax.
yeah.
I'm like, what?
There's an app for that.
Well, there's fax machines, and then it sounds like they want to keep them here, but maybe we don't want to keep it somewhere else either. I
Yeah.
don't know. So,
Oh,
Well, yeah, we could look into all that, you know, and take the next step.
well, yeah, I would say we move forward, I so move.
Does Gary support this?
I spoke to him last night. He was going to try to be here if his schedule allowed for it. I mean, yeah, I don't want to speak for Gary, but my impression was he was very supportive of it. So-
I had spoken to Gary before, I had reached out, and I'm not gonna, like Mike said, I'm not gonna speak for him, but he seemed receptive to, he didn't tell me not to do it.
Yeah, I kind of asked you the question to check the box, but I was kind of assuming the
Yeah.
same thing. You know, new modem, new router, so, I guess all in favor of switching or looking into the switch to NEK broadband, say aye?
Aye,
Aye, yes, the ayes have it. Well, thanks, Mike,
Great.
for all your hard work, bringing fiber to Groton. I think I was possibly the first person, the first board member, and I was scared to death. I was like, I don't know anything about this, and you came on right as NEK broadband was started, and you ran with it. I did also want to mention to the two of you that the Journal Opinion had reached out. They wanted to do a story about the hub. They wanted like a generic statement from the select board,
Oh, okay.
but I'd rather connect them with the people involved.
They've already reached out to
They got
us
it,
and,
okay.
yeah, connected. I think they were more looking for someone who's utilized this space, so it would be more appropriate for the planning commission.
Okay,
If
oh,
they
that's a
were
good
interested,
idea.
yeah.
Yeah, since they meet there. Alright,
Yeah.
maybe I'll punt it over to them.
Yeah,
Alright, so Amy asked you next time, I'm assuming it's who you talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Couple other quick just updates. In terms of service adoption in town, there's like 117 addresses now. Another 74 are kind of waiting for the installs to happen. We've got like 25 people taking advantage of the free conduit program. Me too, yeah. Which is saving, I don't know how much, for residents in that. It is slowing down a little bit of the install process, but in the process, you're saving money. The grand opening, I mentioned of the hub, I would love to, Alice and I would love to host select board members down there. We'd even like to offer the space if you want to do your select board meetings in it. It's set up, it's state of the art. If you want to bring something in, video conferencing wise, it just works. I'll circle, the Nature Center is the last quick update. We've been back and forth trying to get people lined up off of vacation schedules, but that is all scoped. Equipment's been ordered for 2 access points up there to turn that into a Wi-Fi hotspot that projects deep into the parking lot and into the front lawn area for residents and first responders up in that area. So that's it.
Very nice. Well, thank you guys for coming in and for the excellent offer, and we'll see how it goes here in town.
Thank you.
Community buildings.
All right, thanks.
All right, Chief.
All right, Act 162. So it's here, and there's nothing we can do about it. So my concerns as fire chief with the Act 162 is it was billed as modernizing the system, but there's a socioeconomic effect to this that I feel big towns can handle it and small towns can't. Big towns have chiefs sitting in offices and 2 or 3 more phone calls a day over piddly burn permits isn't anything, and there's no sweat off their back, right? So where it is a problem is the smaller communities, where it's a volunteer system, where people aren't sitting in the office all day.
Clarifying, so you're now the forest fire warden based on this act, right?
Based on this act,
Okay,
yeah.
and Steve Batchelor was before, correct?
Correct.
So that's the switch that happened because of something act passed from up here.
And as the act is written, it is set up for me to say, okay, Steve, you're the deputy forest fire warden. You have all of the responsibilities and authorities that you had before. Steve chose to resign from the position when the act first came out on June 24th. I reached out to him initially. I haven't pushed him on the issue. So big towns can handle this a lot easier than small towns can, right? And my other concern is from the municipality's perspective, how it worked before, Larry, I'm sure you know, you appointed. So the state comes to the select board and says, we need you to recommend a fire warden. And so the select board in Groton goes to the fire department and says, give us a recommendation. And then you give that recommendation to the state. The state then takes that recommendation, and the Forest and Parks Wildland Division meets with that person to make sure that they're competent to do that. And then the state, at that point, appoints that person for a 2-year term. The state, under that system, is the AHJ, is the authority having jurisdiction. They are the ones that appoint that person. Under the law now, the select board is appointing that position because you appoint the fire chief. So when you appoint the fire chief, you are automatically appointing the forest fire warden. So, if something stupid happens, if I give somebody a burn permit that is unwise, and it burns down half the town is going to be held liable for that. Not the state anymore. The state is washing their hands of it. They have chosen to put more responsibility down to the town level, again, and not offer any support with how to do that. At this point, I am issuing no burn permits. I don't have the wherewithal that Steve did. Steve is doing an excellent job. At this point, no burn permits are being issued in the town of Groton. It's unfair, in my opinion, that this has all of a sudden been dropped on me from the legislature. It was in discussion, had been in discussion for a while, and every time it was brought up at a meeting or mutual aid meeting or anything, it was always, it's there, it's likely not to pass because nobody wants it to. So, and then at the end of the legislative session, 6 days before the closer, they passed it and pushed it through. So, again, my biggest concern is the liability to the town has increased with nothing, you know, like, so I believe a phone call to passive to VLTC should be made to clarify. According to they had updated, today they had updated, and the last question is, if a town forest fire warden provides a permit to kindle in which a fire escaped and causes damage to the town, is the forest fire warden liable? The answer is not no. The answer is each situation is different and needs to be evaluated independently, considering the facts, circumstances in a particular case. Normally, whoever lights the fire is at fault. Nowhere in that answer does it say no, the town will not be held liable for. So, I don't think it's why. I don't think it's good legislation. I think there's a socioeconomic factor for where Burlington, Montpelier, and Rutland, they can handle this, and if they can fight it. The Grotons, Rygates, Topsums, the Tunbridges, I don't know if you see the BT Digger article, we can't, you know? So that's where we are right now. Where you gentlemen are right now is I am the appointed forest fire warden, and I'm choosing not to issue burn permits because it's absurd that. So the other absurdity in the situation is at the state level, there is the Division of Fire Safety, which is structural firefighting. And then they have Forest and Parks, Wildland Fire, because structural firefighting and wildland firefighting are two totally different things. But now they've decided that the structural chief in town is in charge of all wildland fires as well. So at the state level, they recognize that they're two totally separate things, and they need two different departments to handle both of those things. But at the town level, they've decided that, well, that's just what we have to deal with. So that's where we're at right now.
Let me ask a quick question.
Yeah.
I've only asked for a burn permit once,
Yeah.
and was just told a resounding no.
That's the new, those are the new frequently asked questions that just came out today.
Yeah.
Now that it's the 15th, 14th of July, they've decided to answer questions.
So, like, it seems like the process for getting a burn permit is
Yeah.
calling and them saying yes or no.
Right.
Maybe coming to the house being like, oh no, you live in the middle of the forest, not a good idea.
Yep. I mean, I think responsibly, I've never served as forest fire warden.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the position. And traditionally, in the town of Groton, and Philip can answer to this, there have been times where there has been a house on fire that has extended into a 6-acre forest fire, brush fire. That is why Groton has tried to maintain a separation of their forest fire warden and their fire chief, so that I'm not stuck between deciding whether I want to put Mike's house out or stop it from going to Larry's. You know, so that, and not ask somebody from Topsom, not ask somebody from Peachum, to not ask their forest fire warden to come to my town to put the fire out. So, So, forest fire wardens who do their due diligence, they usually will go and check and make sure that your burn is appropriate. Isn't the big thing too that is burning garbage and stuff. And which is again is if Steve was here, he would tell you a big part of his job is people calling up there. My neighbor's burning trash. Somebody's burning this. My neighbor's burning. If you're Norwich's fire chief, you can have your police go down and check that out. You can have your zoning officer, whoever. You can do it because you're sitting in your office for 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
But that's part of it too. Is so where we're standing now is legally I'm the forest fire warden in town, and I will take that mantle because there's nothing that I can do about that. But at this point, I didn't come asking you guys to be the forest fire warden because I don't have the time to do it. Steve did an excellent job, does an excellent job, and did an excellent job. I asked him if he would like to, and I haven't heard.
Well, I talked to him and I asked him after I read it.
Yeah.
And I see that he could be the deputy, and I think that was a step down, he thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's understandable.
Yeah.
He was answering to the state.
Yeah.
He was
at that point, right?
Yeah.
So really, he's gonna answer to the chief now, but he knows more about forest
Exactly.
fire than our chief does,
Yeah.
which.
Well, that's why that's his specialty.
Yeah.
He goes to these trainings, right?
So-
That was a question I was gonna ask. Is he the incident commander at a forest fire in Groton?
That is
previously.
Yes.
Yes.
So-
Now you are
Yes.
basically.
Yes, and that was the state's argument for modernizing,
Yeah.
right? So that was their argument for modernizing. Now, my opinion is they use the term modernizing because if you're against it, then you're a backwoods hick, right? Because if you're not modernizing,
Yeah.
if you're not, if you were resisting modernization, then it's not resisting modernization. It's foolishness. The system worked before, and the problem is one or two towns in the state, there was a headbutting match between the forest fire warden and the fire chief. So when a forest fire happens, the forest fire warden is in charge, but the fire chief, I'm at the fire trucks. So I decide if the fire trucks go out or not.
Yeah.
So the state wildland guys have to come and deal with that, and they're done dealing with that. They want you guys to deal with that now. So,
Typical state of Vermont, take something that's working
yeah,
and then
so,
shove it back at you.
and the fire service is in crisis, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
Emergency management.
Yeah, so loading more crap on volunteer fire chiefs
Right.
isn't helping the matter at all.
I'm with you on all of that. I am concerned that if we don't write permits, eventually people are just gonna
I
have
do
their
believe that.
fires.
Yeah,
And you'll have to deal with that.
yeah, yeah. I do believe that.
And we know all about the trash burning, how that was time consuming
Yeah.
for Steve.
Yeah.
My like would be to get him to
Yes,
do it.
that would be my as
Um,
well.
Is he still on the fire department?
Yes, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But there's not a lot of people gonna raise their hand to do that,
No,
cause
it's-
there's training involved,
Yeah.
there's a lot involved,
And there's time.
and there's
I don't-
time,
yeah,
right? And-
Yeah, and you kind of got to be available.
And he just bought all the equipment too. He was
Yes, he was
involved.
doing a very good job as a
Yeah,
forest fire.
yes. So at the end of last year, buying all sorts of good stuff.
Yeah, yes, and
It's
we have
disappointing.
updated our trailer to our capabilities to fight a forest fire significantly.
Yeah, yeah. So, couple questions that came to head as we were talking was like, can burn permits have a liability release, built in? But then I thought about that and I said, well, then we have to have a piece of paper, right? And something for someone to sign.
Yeah, it might be covered in that too. I think there's a certain amount. So pretty much if you kindle the fire, you're responsible for the fire,
Yeah,
mostly.
yeah.
This one doesn't say no.
Yeah.
So like I get, my interpretation is, if I allow somebody in the village to have a 12-foot bonfire
Yeah.
in between two houses, with 2 feet of space in between, I think their insurance companies will be looking to assign a lien. You know, and they're not going to be able to go to the state of Vermont, because the state of Vermont is the one who appointed the forest fire warden. So, which is, again, is a question for passive. Are you guys taking on responsibility for every tree?
Yeah.
And,
And if not, like, how do we put a release into our burn permit
Right.
process that we didn't have one
Right.
before, right?
yeah, and I mean, if that's the case, where was passive when, where was VLTC when this legislature was going through? If they're exposing themselves to liability, do they understand that?
So, I guess we
I'd take
need
it
to know
back.
what they're gonna tell us if the chief refuses to be forest fire warden
But, well, I
too.
can't refuse, it's the law. So if I can resign as chief.
You'd have, right.
Yeah, I
We
resign.
don't even have to appoint you, you are.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah,
they
yeah.
took that
Yeah.
So
decision.
you have to, if you wanna stay on,
Yeah.
you gotta, I understand, you gotta find a deputy fire.
Right, yeah, absolutely,
Fire.
yeah, that's been my intention all
Yeah,
along.
yeah.
Like, even before the law passes, so well, if it passes,
Yeah.
this is what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna take the responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna take
So,
on
in
another.
the meantime, we'll have to work through it the best we can,
I believe so. Yeah.
and,
And hey, you know, since, knock on wood, I haven't, nobody's called me for burn. So it's not an issue yet.
oh, yeah.
Someone will get the complaint.
Oh, yeah.
It's all good, yeah, now we
I
know.
The DT Digger had an article, and that I
Take a
think
look
the
at
town, their fire chief is kicking it up to A&R, because they're the only other ones with the authority to issue burn permit. So their argument is, which is absurd, is we can't issue burn permits because we don't know what the conditions are locally. It's the state of Vermont, right? Like, yes, changes, things change a little bit, but every day they issue a map that's showing the danger in the state and broken up into the different districts. So their claims that they don't know what the conditions are on that ground is absurd. Yes, they don't know exactly how it's different at Larry's yard from Mike's yard, but they know what the conditions are in the town of Groton.
What they should have said is we only have 2 people in the
Right,
entire
yeah,
agency
yeah.
that's doing that, and they're constantly in Utah, New Mexico. I've read the articles. They're
Yeah.
all over the place fighting fires, learning.
Yeah.
They're not there
No, and
to answer that call.
Yes,
You know,
and-
that's the truth, probably.
yes, and I mean, I think also part of the truth is climate change and there's more fires.
Yeah.
So I think, and every time a town burns down, insurance companies lose money. So the state, I think, is trying to separate themselves from disaster claims. And they will be able to separate themselves from
Yeah.
forest fire disaster claims through this.
Really.
If, my interpretation is, because before the state was the authority having jurisdiction and was appointing the forest fire warden, now you guys are the authority having jurisdiction through your appointment of the fire chief is automatically the forest fire warden. So you are making the appointments now, which is risky. That's Act 162. I mean, unless you guys would like talk more about it.
I think I'll look into it, and then we'll
Yeah.
probably have to have a follow-up or.
Yeah. So again, it's been my intention to appoint a deputy, and that will be my intention.
Yeah.
But again, from my wording, from what I had seen, nothing. I didn't think anything took effect until we spoke. But that wasn't correct. It happened July 1st, regardless of whether the select board and the fire chief had or not.
That's,
So,
they always use that date.
yeah. A couple things with the fire station on the department update. The lights, I talked to Mike during Day in Our Village. They work fine. You know, the only problem is the office one in particular will turn off on you. So you have to,
Every 5 minutes.
you have to
Really?
wait to get-
5
yeah.
minutes, yes, I was in there the other night, every 5 minutes.
So, it's irritating. So, and then the other big one is, and I know I told Mike, you can go around and you can actually turn off the lights. They're sensors, but you can go around and turn them off if you want to turn them off, except for the main one. That's 3 banks of lights. That's the, when you come in the main entry, that one won't turn off. So, every time we leave the station, half the lights are on, and it really irritates me. They stay on for like 20 minutes because those ones have, so.
I had that on my list tonight.
Yeah.
So let's see. So I have switched for the fire department, but so do you want? I was like debating. Do we just tell them to put in an override switch, basically above the bank of light switches that just hit?
I don't know, or
Kills them all?
I don't know if there's a setting inside the switch
Is it
itself.
just, so the switches
Yeah.
themselves aren't working? The one in the office that has to get.
Yes, or we have a sensor in the main bay so that the lights don't go out because I think it's a motion and sound sensor. So if you're on the other side of the truck talking, it'll still pick up that there's people alive in there. But there's nothing in the office that I've seen.
We're gonna get that contractor back out. I was gonna call him yesterday, and I was like, well, let me get like a good idea of what we should do.
Yeah,
You know.
We really need him to meet with you,
yeah. I mean, I would
You know.
be, yeah, yeah,
so, and do what's gonna work,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I can meet with him. So, and then we don't have any hot water at the station,
Do not.
and it's been like 3 weeks without hot water there, and really want to get your hands washed.
I think they're coming back tomorrow to finish it, and I think he's trying to get a hold of somebody to move the trucks again for tomorrow.
Okay.
Couldn't get a hold of you, so I gave him Brent's number, because he said Brent did it one of the other days.
Yep. Why they need the trucks moved so much.
They're gonna get those Modines in. Is that
Okay.
tomorrow?
I think so.
They're in.
I didn't ask him,
I
he said
wonder.
to finish the.
I think they have to pressure test them. Like
Yeah.
that would be my guess.
I think they're moving the trucks more than they need to, in my opinion, but
What
they're
they're
pulling them
doing
out
with
just
the
to work, and they've got everything. You can work off the truck, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Then the other concern was, the ladders off the silos.
I talked to him about that.
Okay.
He said that he's gonna talk with whatever the head guy, that they can they can either take it off at the next junction, or there's a thing that wraps around it and makes it where you can't climb it.
Okay. Yep.
I didn't notice. So you people can just go right up these ladders.
Right from here, all the way.
All the way up. Okay, I'll have to look after. Yeah. All right. So.
Yep.
But that's being looked into.
Yeah.
I think those were our main concerns. And it's like I said, I'm not at all opposed, or is the fire department opposed to the energy upgrade, so, you
Yeah.
know, it's just that. The other one is we have a hole in the bathroom.
Yeah, they're gonna fill that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talked about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Did they move the tank? Are they doing anything with that?
No, since not,
So the big, I guess the plan is they're gonna use the big tank for the generator fuel.
Okay.
That's what I told them to do. Put the fuel from the little tank in the big tank. And,
so, I mean, all in all, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not.
It's the pricing. I've talked to a couple other towns now, and they go, "You'll really like it. It's $3 whatever a blah 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 the entire year." You know, and when I did the research on what we pay, our prices for oil, as you guys all see at home, they go from $2 to $5.50.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're budgeting and you see that range, it's wild.
Yeah.
And then we're using a local company. Hope they're trying to build a pellet mill in Wells River.
Yep.
So, you know, hopefully that goes well for them, and then we'll have a supply of pellets right here and
Yeah.
inexpensive fuel.
So Aaron, I reached out to Douglas Penner about your concern about the motion
Okay, yeah.
lights, and he said he could come the 20th. I said, there was a meeting tonight, and you could let him know,
Okay.
but I can let him know if that's easier for you, or,
Yeah, I mean, if it'll have to be 3 o'clock or after.
okay, so you wanna meet with him
Yeah,
I can, yeah.
should meet with him
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he can just come back.
on the
And,
20th?
Yeah. Yeah.
That won't need any trucks moved, really, just
Okay.
mess with the switches and.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I'll tell him and see if that still works.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, those are the big,
No, we'll get those addressed.
yeah.
I think you'll be happy once the heaters are on. Sorry about the hot water being off for so long.
No, I mean, it's certainly not ideal.
Yeah.
But other than that, the work has been clean, you know, I mean, it looks professional. I'd critique that. But the lack of hot water and a hole in the bathroom is
Yeah.
less than I would have.
No critters inside yet?
No curtains?
No new
critters.
critters.
No, I don't think so. No, they've been pretty good at keeping screens over everything, so.
That's good. Yeah, they tell me they'll dry the trucks quicker and it'll be more
The
efficient.
only thing I had talked and spoke with Dad about was at our shed, at my work, we have overhead modines, and during this time today, you can turn them on and just blow air.
Yeah.
Oh, not have so, which would be perfect on,
Yeah.
you know, that we'd be able to have that blowing down on us, so.
Like a fan in the
Oh, yeah,
summer.
that should be it. I mean,
yeah,
the
so.
Modian technology, when we were looking at Modians, there weren't many choices.
No, so it hasn't changed in like 100 years.
I think it's like a patent, from like 100 years ago that just works. So maybe we could look into that.
Yeah, which would be great, you know,
Yeah,
it's gonna work good in the winter.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and if we could have it year round, that actually kind of blow down and really dry things out in there, put it at.
So the other thing they did that, is they put a baseboard heat in the office, which we've never had any heat in the office. And then one of the last times I was over there and I talked with him, he said, he thinks it's gonna get too hot, so we put a thermostat outside.
Oh, okay.
So there's a thermostat so we can regulate it. I can't imagine it'll get too hot, but maybe it will.
It's a little space. He told me at first it was just gonna be tied to the Modian, so when you had it on in the fire station, I go, well, that little office is gonna get hot. He said,
Yeah.
well, we'll figure it out with like a valve or something, and I was like, I was
probably.
picturing like the valve on the baseboard, and I was like, that's weird, but I guess thermostat
Yeah, he put a
must have been,
thermostat right outside the door.
cause that was the solution then.
Hopefully. Well, no.
Yeah,
Come
we'll just
January.
find out while you're sweating in the. Alright, anything else?
I don't believe so. Anything else for fire or fast, Philip?
The only thing I have is, does the board think they're gonna have any more projects that they're gonna do in the fire station?
I don't think so.
And if they do, it would be this is my opinion, and it's mine only, that if the board or town decides they wanna do any more projects or purchase anything, really should involve the fire chief ahead of time so he can be involved. Not just at the end and here's what you got.
Yeah, I think you're looking at a very long process that went back and forth between propane and heat pumps and pellets and different bids and different ways to do things. I mean, we had it connected where heating was gonna be here. You guys are gonna have like a nice new shed over there.
Yeah, you're gonna have a
I-
propane furnace, yeah.
Well, I thought for your propane, the way it was initially designed with the engineers was that this heating plant was gonna do your building.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up with that, just an open space or that,
Yeah.
where the furnace room is now, which is to your benefit, right? You're gonna have a little more space to put stuff away, whatever. So it just, everything switched so quickly. So we were talking about it here at the meetings, but well,
And with that
take note.
being said, what we kinda knew that was in the process, and it was like, good. Leave that furnace right there. If this system goes down, I got a backup. My fire station will never go cold.
Never's gonna go cold.
yeah, that was connected to the internet and it tells the service people.
What was your
when they're
backup
back.
for the oil furnace?
Didn't have one.
Okay.
So therefore, when you're looking, you're looking ahead, it's like, but now it doesn't matter. This is done, so it's just, that would have been what I said, now have a backup system. Now, if something does go,
Some people would need a backup for the backup, but you went quite a few years with just an oil burner. And this pellet furnace, boiler, there's gonna be storage air. Technology has come our way. They're gonna know when it's down long before you do, or we won't, because we're not there, but the company's gonna know when something happens. You didn't have that with your oil burner.
The only thing we had was, there's a light that came on that, when the temperature got down in that fire station, a red light came
But
on. And what you don't
I
have.
feel pretty comfortable that you're not gonna have an issue.
That's perfect.
I'm
And
pretty.
another thing I can say, if you don't like what the board's doing, there's openings usually every March. So raise your hand, get out, get people to vote for you, come on the board. You don't like changes, you don't like what we're doing, be a leader, change them yourself. And that's all I'm gonna say.
And with that, I have a comment too. I was told by a man in this town who grew up here, said, you don't like it, move. Told me that twice. That didn't set well. Didn't set well with me at all. That wasn't about this fire station, that was about any other things in this town. If I didn't like it, move. That sucks.
Larry, I know when I was on the board, it seemed as though the fire department didn't come very often as far as the committee things were concerned. I think if the fire department shows up whenever the committee reports are gonna be there, you're gonna hear all this information and it's not gonna feel like you were blindsided with it. Because you're gonna be there in the discussions. If you've got something going on that you think the town needs to know, or you want to know that the town's doing, be at those meetings.
It's not our job to make sure you can go online and listen to these meetings, or you can come, every meeting's posted. It's not our job to hand out flyers saying what we're doing. It's open to the public, every meeting is.
The agenda was clear as far as that this stuff was being dealt with.
Yeah.
It was not a secret.
And minutes, because we talked about this for several meetings. I tried to think back, I was like, how did you guys not? The only thing I can think of, the night that Steve Batchelder nominated you to be fire chief, for what I think was the night we awarded Lime Green Heat. I didn't go and look, I was just like, off the top of my head, I was like, but you were here, I don't think you were here that night, it was just your.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and so, but either way, that was like a minor, just a,
Yeah.
But, maybe we could have gotten some more detail, I guess. Honestly, it's going so fast at that point, and we're at a deadline of the end of the year. Just very happy to get a contractor lined up. And like you, I have a job that keeps me, I literally give like 5% of my time, and I give 90% effort to the town of Groton. I wish I could give more time, but I don't. And so, things like that just get, that's why the meetings are definitely where you can hear everything.
I think, communication could be better on every side. I don't think that's, certainly I'm not without fault. So, as far as I'm concerned, personally, as a new department head, you guys can do whatever you like.
We're gonna do it.
One less thing that I have to deal with. If I don't have to put out RFPs to paint the side of the building or do something, then I am 100% okay with that. So, that's one less thing that I have. I don't have the administrative aspect. I don't have an administrative assistant or a recording secretary. I don't have, the where for all. Unless I'm doing it, it's not happening. Right? So, and there's delegation, absolutely, but when you're a small rural fire department, the easiest way to chase people out is to ask them to go do our.
Well, anything we do over there, I feel, is to improve the place.
Yeah.
Right.
You haven't heard any complaints?
Yeah.
Everything in the best interest of the town.
There's nothing since I've been on the board that the fire department's come to us with that we've denied.
No.
So, but the silos are, just like in a business, like the business I work in is parts, service, and sales. And they'd always get after you about the silos, because each division has their own ideas, their own,
Yeah.
but in the end, there's managers and there's general managers and there's ultimately in our situation, not one person makes a decision, but there, communication, right? None of this is that hard, just look at it. You know, you need a PO for $3,800, just get it to us, let us, you know, don't have invoices be sent in that we're behind on because we didn't get a PO for.
Yeah.
You know, just stuff like that, it doesn't need to happen that way.
It doesn't.
But
Yeah, it doesn't.
any one person can make it hard on everybody else if they want to. That's not what I do, that's not what, you know. So come to the meeting, tell us, we don't like the lights. You know, don't send it to me on an email. You won't get a response from me from an email. Look me in the eye. Look me in the eye. We'll get stuff done going forward, so everybody knows. And we're a team. There's not one of us better than the other.
No, sir, no.
Right?
Well, I'd say there's a few men in here better than me, but that's my personal opinion.
We all got one purpose, to make Groton the best that we can. Whether it's out here cutting brush, or putting
Protecting
flag.
from forest fires and fires.
Yeah, and I'm disappointed that Steve isn't our forest fire board, just like you are. Because he's done a great job. And I wish we could
Now
sit
imagine
down.
you woke up yesterday and the state said, you're in charge of the planning commission now. You are. You're responsible for it now. You are the planning commission now. There's no more planning commission. It is the select board's job.
Yeah, no,
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, no.
And tough shit, you don't like it.
yeah.
You know what? You don't like it? It's because you're a podunk hillbilly.
Yeah.
Because every professional office, every municipal office with a professional staff says it's okay.
Yeah,
But you guys are complaining about it.
yeah, no,
There's probably a lot of select boards that don't understand emergency services and fire services. I'm just like, oh, this is fire and fire. Who cares? You know?
no,
But we're a forest town. Like, this is
This is
important.
80% of the town is forested. And yeah, and it has long been a frustration of the Groton Fire Department that the Forest and Parks do not recognize that the majority of the state forest is in the town of Groton. They have zero interest in that. Their argument is, well, Peachum and Marshfield and Plainfield, they own this much of it too. You know, so you can't make an exception to you guys. So.
all right, Karen, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Come more often.
Tuesdays do not work. Tuesdays I have meetings at 7 at the fire station, and I have my kids Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and half a day Wednesday.
Yeah.
So Wednesday afternoon or Thursdays work. Tuesdays do not. I have to go home, feed my kids, and turn around and come back for a fire meeting. So change your meetings on day more. I try to keep up. I check the agenda. I try to keep up with what you guys are doing.
Okay.
But
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
'cause
Let's communicate better.
Yeah,
We'll resolve to
communicate
communicate better and move forward.
yeah.
Yeah.
Protect Groton and do the right thing for Groton together, you know? So, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Really great to have you in too. I mean,
Yeah.
really.
It's unfortunate how the Act 162.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's being billed as modernizing the system, which it's because there's two states in the town that had a problem with it. So now you
Yeah,
guys have
2 out of 251 was,
Yeah.
yeah, that's state law, for sure.
Yep. And
Yeah.
the problem was the Forest and Parks guys had to come down and resolve the issue because they are in charge.
Yeah,
So, and they're done playing nursemaid between forest fire wardens and fire chiefs, so it's your guys' job. All right, thank you guys.
thank you.
I have a question on the forest fire warden.
Yeah.
And Steve's position as the past forest fire warden. Will the board authorize payment of his stipend for half a year for being a forest fire warden? I mean, I think he got paid a stipend to be the forest fire warden.
Yeah, that's what we've done in the past for anyone that goes through part of the year and get
Okay,
that
so-
part of your stipend.
So, excuse me, does he have to wait till, can we pay him now?
Well, let's find out for
Well,
sure he
Has he
doesn't.
officially written a
He doesn't have
resign?
any choice. They fired him.
So it,
You know,
He turned in his stuff.
You look what happened, that, you know
Yeah.
Steve.
No, I understand he's upset. I'd rather pay him for a whole year and have him stay on.
So would I.
But
Yeah, but
I mean, personally, I don't see a problem if he's officially done,
we have it.
that
It's there.
we owe him up to this,
Yeah.
we owe him half his stipend. It just, I don't,
Steve was upset, and I didn't feel it would be appropriate on my end to push him on the issue.
yeah,
So
maybe,
Mike.
yeah.
I think if he hears, I
talk
think
to
if he
him.
hears from the select board that they would like him
Yeah,
to
yeah.
continue, and he hears from the chief and the assistant chief that he does an excellent job. I mean, I reached out to him and said he does a better job than I do, than I would.
Yeah.
He's passionate. I've long contended that usually the best person to do the job is somebody who wants to do it.
Right, well, it's, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, well, as far as your question, yes,
Okay.
we will, but I think we'll do some talking to him, and then if he's set and he's done, and then we have to
And
move
we'll do
forward.
something from there. I know, we'll look on
Yeah.
appointing a deputy,
Um,
so that the town does have the ability to
Maybe
issue
he's had
permits.
time to rethink, but maybe he doesn't need to rethink, you know, everybody's built different,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, and he does have enough stuff going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're given that off ramp, you're like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, that was, so anyways,
Yeah.
we'll talk and address it and
Okay,
Good, thank you.
move forward from there.
thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
All right, so,
Lake Association.
at the Lake Association, Lake Groton Association.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Dick Guy, I'm president of the association, and Bob Ricker is vice president, and Tom Page you all know already, so I don't need to, I don't think. And we're here to just discuss concerns with Eurasian milfoil that, and propose a couple of concepts to kind of mitigate those concerns, both at our lake, and it would also affect Ricker's just as well. So if it gets in our lake, it'll certainly flow into that. Over 100 lakes in Vermont are infected with Eurasian milfoil. Locally, we have Joe's Pond, Halls Lake, Lake Maury, and just so everybody understands it, it has no natural predators. Eurasian means that it came from overseas, and because it has no predators, it can grow unchecked. It grows up to 15 feet in height, which means it'll grow anywhere from the shoreline to a depth of 15 feet on a lake. And in our case, in Lake Groton, that can be a very large portion of our lake because it's shallow. It's not a very deep lake. It creates a reddish, stinky, dense mat. I've seen pictures of it. It looks like carpeting, and it's a tangle of plants. It chokes off sunlight and nutrients for other plants that the fish live on, so it would very much affect the fish life, and certainly you can't swim in it. So we're all concerned as property owners that if that were to happen, our properties would become considerably worth less, which also affects the tax base of the town, which I'm sure you already figured that out. So we met with some people at Joe's Pond, and they and the town of Danville have spent somewhere around $60,000–70,000 last year to try to manage bladderwort, and they haven't gotten rid of it, but they're just trying to make it more manageable. They've used harvesting, which is a suctioning kind of a device for the scuba divers, and it costs them $12,000 a week to do that, and it's not terribly effective because the plant can very easily fracture little pieces float off, so they can suck one up and create 6 new ones in the process. They have a chemical treatment that they were allowed to use called Prokelacor. It's a little over $1,000 an acre. In our case, that'd be $150,000 for our lake, I guess. I'm not positive on the acreage, but that's kind of a guess. And it's effective, but because it's a targeted chemical, if you will. But then there's the environmental concerns. A lot of people don't like chemicals in their ground or in the water or whatever. So and I don't know if you've read, Fairley's been dealing with this for years, and it just keeps on going and going. It's just a gift that keeps on coming. So our thought is that we really need, we believe that prevention is way better than trying to cure this. And we also believe that we should be somewhat preparing for the possibility that it does happen here. When we talk about prevention, Stillwater Campground is kind of a gift to us, because people bring, the way that this weed propagates is off of boats and trailers. It hitches a ride, and Stillwater requires anybody who brings a boat in to take it over to the wash station and give it a wash and look for weeds. It's a state law that you cannot transport an invasive weed from, not that people always obey the law, but our concern really is more about, there's a launch at the south end that's completely uncontrolled. And there's no way to prevent people from going to Joe's Pond and go fishing for a few hours, say this isn't working out, hop in their boat and come on down here and just launch it right there without washing or even looking for weeds. So that's probably our number one concern, is that there's a launch there. It's not owned by the town. It's not owned by the lake. It's owned by an individual, and he has, as I understand it, easements to a lot of other property owners for permission to get in, which may not be a big issue, because I think people who live on the lake will probably be a little more conscientious. Our real concern is people that don't live on the lake, and don't give a crap about the lake, or the town, for that matter, and just go ahead and have their way. And so we've struggled with this, and we just kind of want to bring it to your attention that we're struggling with that. And if you had any inspiration, of course, we're all love to hear it, about anything we could do to limit that access somewhat. We thought about proposing, and we sent a member of our, one of our friends from the north end of the lake went down to visit the property owner and proposed maybe we could put up a gate with a key given to everybody that has an easement to get in. And the gent just didn't want to discuss it at all. I don't know the history of it, and I understand it's a very unpleasant history for the property owner. So it's been a difficult nut for us to crack down. And then the second thing I was asked to bring to the town is that it does become a financial burden, and I'm not sure exactly how it becomes a town responsibility, but I know that Danville has been paying for a lot of these expenses in Joe's Pond, and I know the same is happening in Fairleigh. So we were asked by our trustees to see if the selectmen would put a warrant article in this year to establish a trust fund, if you will, a savings account, to start putting money away, not necessarily spending it, but money away for a invasive milfoil mitigation fund of some sort. So that's one of the two things. If we could get the selectmen to at least put a warrant article in, not asking you to approve it, just see if the voters would weigh in on how they feel about it. And then, of course, if there's anything the town can think of to do as far as access, because again, if we can prevent it, it could save us literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars and a lot of property devaluations. So, there you are, that's my list of things I'm
Where
supposed to
do
tell you.
you camp the owners up there launch their boats? A lot of them off their own property or?
And I don't think we are terribly concerned because they're not going lake to lake.
Yeah,
For the-
so
for
you
most
just
part,
take it out and follow them.
They're just in and out.
Yeah,
I do I could maybe, but I just go through still water.
yeah,
We're allowed, every property owner on the lake is
can
allowed
go through still,
3 launches a year.
yeah.
And I go through the wash
I
station.
can also add to that, that if we live on the lake, there's no reason for us to take our boat anywhere else but Groton Pond.
Right, yeah.
There's no way I have
Yeah.
a desire to put my
But
boat in
how do the people
Layfield or anybody else.
access this other boat launch? They must know
Lakeside
somebody.
Drive. No, it's the name of the road. I'm so happy the Lake Groton sign is off at the top of the road. I live right across from Lakeside Drive. You know how many people drive by and think, oh, the lake must be down there. That's how people find it, because it's Lakeside Drive. There's no dead end sign, so they're like, oh, well, that road will take me to the lake, and then I'll figure out where the launch is. And then you get down there, and there's a sign that says, clean your boats before you use the boat ramp. And then there's a tiny little sign that says, private boat ramp. So you see it, you're like, oh, must be a boat ramp down
And
here.
I'm 73 years old, and I've been coming to the pond for 73 years. My first time to the pond, they brought me in a backpack, an LLB knapsack between Rickers and Groton to my grandfather's camp, who was the engineer on the Montpelier Wells River Railroad. I was just a month old. After that, we would be able to drive to the foot of Groton Pond when they put the road in. That was the launch and the pickup point and the parking spot for everybody to get to their camp. So it's been used for 73 years. So virtually anybody who has any history or knowledge of Groton Pond knows it's there.
I've seen people launch from there that I know aren't lake people. You see like the guy dragging the sailboat down. I'm like, oh, geez, like, you know. I want to be like, it's not my place to, like, you can't park or dump your boat out there. It's not my property. I just walk in my dog, so I usually don't say anything. But I always thought, you know, there should be a dead end sign or no lake access sign at the top of Lakeside. Just state parks with an arrow pointing, keep going, you know, not here, you know, or something, sign that says no access to the lake. But I'd love that sign to be by my driveway, so they didn't
That's
turn.
actually, I've never heard that. I mean, it's a good one. I mean, it's a sign, it's just a sign.
That's it. There's no dead end sign, so people, like I said, they're like, oh, for a ride, oh, here's a nice lakeside road, maybe it goes by a boat ramp. And then they turn down and they find a boat ramp, you know, or they don't find the park they're looking for, the campground.
We are buying an upgraded sign, the one you described.
Yeah.
We're gonna upgrade that this year.
Yeah.
A little bit more to the point, a little bit more
So
pronounced.
somebody else needs to have a conversation with the guy that owns a boat. Does he own the boat launch area? Is he?
I understand that he
I don't know.
does. I've never met him. I understand the last name like the Earhart. Does that sound right? And I was just told by Dwayne Smith, is one of my neighbors on the north end, said he knew him pretty well. He'd go down and talk to him.
Yeah.
And he came back and said it's a dead issue. He just
What about a bollard?
I don't know if Dorothy, if the tax maps or the history Carrie somewhere could check to see, and it would be back in the 50s probably when that got established.
That's gonna be an
Who knows?
That's gonna be a mess.
I always thought that it was a town owned by the town. That was just my understanding. I have no way, it's just a total assumption.
See, I think we just owned the turnaround there for the plow, if I remember correctly. I looked down there, I think, is it Earhart or Air Good that's right across? The one that was, they were doing like a building, did they come in maybe for a zoning thing or something? Was it part of it? Okay, yeah, when I looked there, the town owns a little bit of land where the turnaround is, but nothing past there. And then if the town owns the roads through there, it's not like a center line.
And toward that end as well, and this is something the town might consider, they use that as a parking place for their trailers. If you put a boat in the way, you have to park your car in your trailer somewhere. And if that weren't available, it would make it more difficult for them to use that as a boat launch because they have nowhere to leave their car and trailer.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, the extent we would do there would be to throw a no overnight parking or no parking sign, and that would be that, because I have a few ideas. So my family, my great aunts and great uncles, they had a camp on a lake in Massachusetts forever and ever. And when I was a kid, I'd go water skiing, and it was always fun to watch all the milfoil in the rope, because you never wanted to stay in the water for long. And it was awful. And they have one of these big machines that sucks it up like a lawnmower, goes in the back and dumps it off somewhere, and then they burn it. It's a whole expensive thing. But it's fully association funded down there, and the town does not have any involvement, and it's also a small rural town. So my thinking, when I heard about when you were talking about the fund, the question would be, can we levy that, like, can we fund that with people with skin in the game, right? I know the town has some skin because this is our property values and make up our grand list and what we can tax, but can that fund be be funded by people who have lakefront property or lake access?
We already have a $12,000 fund, which we
Of your
grow
own.
every year.
Yeah,
One of our problems there, and I understand your perspective on that. I
Yeah.
respect that. So we have roughly 150 camps, I believe, something like that. Roughly 50% of them are members of the association. The rest choose not to be.
yeah,
So now we're saddled with people. Everybody benefits, but only
yeah,
half are paying. And right now our dues are $40 a year. So you're not going to jump that up to $500 a year.
Right.
Which might be the number you have to go to be able to actually afford to do these things. So it's a conversation.
yeah. Another thought would be, because gates, we just put a whole bunch of gates up. They were inexpensive, but people don't like gates, or some people don't like gates. But bollards, right? Like a bollard is one of these like posts. You put a cement block in the ground, and I see them at ski areas now, where like hotels are trying to keep people out of a spot. Well, it's something easy that if like a condo owner pulls up, they go unlock something at the bottom, and the bollard just like folds down, and then they just drive into the spot, and then when they back up, they pull the thing up. I don't know how easy it is to put that into dirt. I mean, I'm seeing this in a parking lot.
Not hard to do, and they're willing to pay for it.
Yeah, it's one post, right? It's gonna
But the
stop a
owner
boat.
won't let it. So-
Yeah.
And therein lies the rub on that.
But it could be maybe
Put it
because
on the
they,
town road.
maybe because they're seeing a big gate across from their house, you know, one post
What they
might
want
be.
with the town road.
That's a good point.
What's that?
Put that in the town portion of the road.
Can we do that for emergency services? I
Oh,
don't know.
no,
Dead end,
just blocking
Oh.
off the side of the road where you
Yeah.
would exit into the lake.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I didn't think of that.
he's never gonna let you do anything,
Really?
never.
Yeah.
You know him too. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
the-
also, is there any way that the town might be able to go to the state if this happens and say, look, you've gotta help us out here, cause it's gonna ruin our tax base.
The problem, I'm gonna share it, Chief Smith just shared it, same problem, right? Fairleigh has a robust town office,
Yeah.
administrator, clerks,
Yeah.
treasurer, they have tons of people. So getting grants, it's the same thing, you just, they're great, here's some money, but at the same time, it becomes an administrative nightmare. So what I would envision would be like, the town could be like a sponsor, like having a municipal partner when you go for funding is important, because you're a lake association. I don't know if you're established as like a nonprofit or how that works, but sometimes they have certain requirements, their grants, where you need a nonprofit or an organization like municipality to apply. But I would think that the town, so long as we were limited in how much exposure for money we have, we would be probably willing. to at least be a partner, but I don't know what the, money is gonna be the issue, right? If people are gonna say, why are we spending all this money? It's the same argument as wastewater in the village, right? It's like, well, I don't live there. But, so I would think this would be the similar argument. But something to think about. I think the prevention stuff, self-serving, I just want people to stop turning around my driveway. And so, like I said, when that Lake Groton sign went down off the top of all the names, the number of turnarounds stopped by like 75%. I would bet the number of people that went down Lakeside went down probably like 50% just from that alone. And I'm happy it didn't go back up. I don't know where it went, but I hope it stays wherever it went.
Yeah, well, we want to make the sign as far as I'm concerned, say no lakes, no lake access is available on this road.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, because over the years, I walked my dog through there, and I was thinking, I see people turn around constantly, and I'm like, oh, these idiots, like, there's nothing there for them. And I'm like, there should be a sign that says lake access that way, or public boat ramp that way, because the poor guy going down with his bass boat, it's like, oh, geez, he's gonna have fun when he gets down there. And, dead end sign would be another thing.
Well, that would be a start that would be inexpensive, not really harmful or controversial to put that on. And I absolutely agree with the idea of putting the no parking around that turnaround. Like I say, if they, they're gonna park there anyway, but.
Well, we have a couple no parking signs right in the closet. We could send you home with you. No, we got the other side.
But I think it would be great to put them there and just, it can't hurt.
Yeah. I've only seen people, like I said, once or twice. One time it was like November. I was like, what is this person
We always
doing?
do what the state did up
Up
on
by the-
232,
yeah.
that pull off, they put all those posts,
Yeah.
reflectors, so you can't even pull off. I don't like that, but
Yeah, I don't like
Nobody
that
would
either. That was pretty.
pull off there, but
Yeah.
one person parks on the left side of the road as you're going down. He doesn't even use the parking lot, because I think in years past, he was told not to, and he parks on the left side.
Yeah.
But
So,
It's quite a quandary.
yeah, well, it was less of a quandary with the Stillwater, and there are people you see them, you look to try and find the foot ramp, you can't figure out how to get onto Lake Groton, probably go to.
Oh, you need
Beach
to
Bowl.
get the state to Stillwater you can only launch if you stay there, or you as camp owners can. You
Right,
let the
and
state.
That's pretty much what they do.
Right, so, it's happened to me in the past. We rented a camp up there one summer. I had no way to put my boat in. I actually used that
If you rent
launch
a camp,
down to the
Yeah.
other end.
if you rent a camp, you do have permission from the state to go through. Because there's a camp property owner
Yeah, well,
has that permission, he can extend it to rent.
This was 10 years ago, and they would not let me launch my boat there. And
They do now.
They do now, okay. But why can't they just make, like he says, no boat access here, go to Stillwater?
And Stillwater is limited, trailers are an issue up there.
Yeah,
So they can only park, I don't know the number, but they can only park so many boat trailers. So even if they were to allow the general public just to come in and launch and park, I don't know that they have the room.
They don't have
No, it's gotta be max 10, and then on a busy weekend, maybe 5, in that overflow area.
So supposedly there is no public access on Lake Groton,
right.
which really pisses the wardens off. And when you tell them they have to wash their boat, well, we'll ruin the element of surprise. I don't care. I don't want to be surprised that you brought milfoil in because you just came off of
The next pond
Paul's
over.
Lake
Yeah.
or Joe's Pond and don't wash your boat and trailer and throw it in Groton.
Yeah.
So you can get no, it's a dead end, no public access sign.
No
Talk
boat
about that.
launching.
Yeah.
No
we're just-
boat launch, those
Or
signs.
just
can
no
be
lake
bought.
access, so a dead end sign with underneath that says, no lake access.
Yeah.
Or no public access to
That
Lake
has to
Groton,
happen.
you know?
No lake
It's better than
access.
what we have.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then Do me a favor, don't put the Lake Groton sign back up over the names.
Okay.
We won't change the name of Lakeside Drive, but I guess what do we make a motion on this, or?
That's something they can do through their association?
No, that's a town road.
We have
We would have
town
to ask Harold to purchase a sign,
Yeah.
2 signs.
I think it's a big deal.
Yeah, let's.
No, we're not gonna do
that.
I'm not doing that. This is just talking about the
Putting up all
signs.
lake access.
Yeah,
And just to put it on the record as well, one last thing I'll throw out is, I've reached out to Sergeant Jacob Matire, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, I can only see it on the email. And he's in charge of the Marine Patrol,
Yeah.
and I tried to very politely ask him to have his Marine Patrol ask any boaters they find out there, have you washed your boat or trailer? And he said, my job is only law enforcement, to which I replied, and I gave him the law. It is state law that you have to check your boat for weeds.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, it's a lot more words than that.
They're probably designated to enforce certain laws because the secretary of the agency is the person who charges us that they only designate certain laws. Those guys are regimented. They're gonna do what they're told and probably not much more. But you can get lucky. Sometimes they will just, do stuff. I'd wonder. Well, let's.
make a motion.
We'll make a motion to ask Harold about a dead end sign and a no lake access sign at the top of Lakeside Drive.
And the no parking at the turnaround.
Oh yeah, and the no parking, thank you, and a no parking sign or 2.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye,
Thank you.
Yes?
start there.
Yeah, we'll start there. So ayes have it.
We'll do our best to try to keep it out of the lake.
The question I did want to ask too, one of the follow-up questions was, does the state have any plans like that they offer to lakes in Groton's position, like any sort of, or is it just generic kind of what we were just talking about?
I'm the state lake monitor for Lake Groton, and I report to the Department of, whatever it is.
Environmental.
Yeah, environmental services. And so I monitor for water quality. I test for chlorophyll, phosphorus, and
Nitrate? No, is it?
chlorophyll, nitrogen. And
Total dissolved solids? Isn't that one of those?
Anyway,
It's one of those, yeah.
Sample twice a month for 3 months. The samples go to Berlin, they pick them up, they analyze it, and they rank the lakes for lake health and keep track of what's going on. We tracked and almost pretty much eradicated, not milfoil, but
The bad
bladderwort.
Yeah.
And we got after that in good shape. And apparently either it got what it came for and it's gone, or whatever we did may have helped. We don't know, but we jumped on it. And so the question becomes, and it's brought to me tonight, am I supposed to be checking for, I also check for cyanobacteria and all that stuff, which we don't have, thank God.
Yeah.
Should I be checking for milfoil, which every time I monitor, I go all the way around the lake, the perimeter, and look in the water. And whenever else we're out on the water, pretty much all the time. The kids are tubing, and
Yeah.
my son-in-law's fish. They're fish crazy, and so they're constantly monitoring, and they will certainly let me know if they see anything. So I think there's enough vigilant people that once we start distributing these flyers, there's gonna be more eyes on the pond.
Yeah.
But our main thing is now to try to keep prevention is the key.
So, share a couple of things with you. I worked at DEC, and I just would talk to people and meet people. And I met someone, she retired, unfortunately. She said, you can bring in plants, and I will tell you what they are. And I brought in plants from Ricker Pond and from the Lake Groton Dam, where I was like, one of them looked very milfoily. I was like, uh-oh, I think I found milfoil. It was in Ricker. And I brought it, and she looked at it, and she goes, that's not milfoil, but I'll take a look at the line. And I got to the point, there's also an oyster, the clam.
Zebra mussel.
The mussel, there's a person there at DEC who's obsessed with them that wants to see all the little mussels that are in the freshwater mussels. So I don't know if you find who the last, but not that to say that you should monitor for it, but I just brought to work in a little Tupperware thing, like, I was like, can you tell me if that's the invasive stuff? And she got back to me and said, nope, and it's just bring it into work. The other thing, I think you have, I'll try and find out if there is still someone who does that. I think this is just someone who just knew aquatic plants really well.
Yep.
The other thing I think is going to work positively for Lake Groton, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe it likes sandy bottoms. And so I think I don't know if your lake is fully a sand bottom, but it sure seems like in a lot of spots it is.
It's a sandbar, but it's become pretty much overrun with vegetation.
Yeah, it's like mocking.
Certainly when I was a kid, it used to be sandbar.
Yeah.
And Boulder Beach is sandbar.
Right.
But I can tell you, because I used to scuba dive to look for people's motors and motor covers and God only knows, there's a lot of stuff at the bottom of Groton Bottom. But anyway, there's a lot of other types of weed and stuff. And I'm gonna be testing Friday. She's gonna bring some more sophisticated equipment to go down and check oxygen levels at the bottom and some other various things that I don't test for, but the state does to monitor certain things to keep them in check, to figures what could grow, what can't grow, et cetera, et cetera. So they've kind of got an eye on it, but if this stuff hits, we're screwed.
Well, you got to catch it. If you catch it soon, that's a huge plus. And then I think the sandy bottom issue is that it doesn't root well in it, so which is a somewhat of a plus. So I don't know if you go. I would look too, if people are looking, it's going to be at the edges, and it's going to be little tiny pieces, came in on someone's boat, or, but that's like the dam. I used to just out of curiosity see what's in the lake. I'm like, well, most of the stuff that's in the lake is going to be up against the dam, and you see some cool stuff there for plants. So I look too. I know you wouldn't have known that before tonight, but I'm curious, and I've seen what it does to a lake, and it's not a good thing. So communication's huge too. So if anyone sees something, tell them, like, put it out on that Facebook page group, and get out there and let's look at it and get someone in Montpelier to drive a piece of it up there if someone can say yes or no.
I'm at the loony bin most all the time, so you can certainly get it to me, 91 Starboard Drive, right down the bottom of the hill by the store, and I'll run it up the flagpole.
Yeah.
So if I could, this is that information thing we were trying to pass out. If there's somewhere we could post that one here in the building, that'd be great, just for people.
We can put it on the posting board.
And we're gonna try to get that out to everybody around the lake as well. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, and we'll keep thinking about it. Yeah. Hopefully we see a sign up there soon. Less turnarounds, and I'll be watching as I walk the dog and make sure.
Yep. We'll put ours up, and then you guys do what you can, and we appreciate that.
We've been living a charmed life so far.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Been a pleasure.
Good evening.
I'll also look into the ownership of the ramp as well. I'll look at the ownership of the ramp from the zoning side. I had that note to myself, but I meant to tell you guys. Alright.
Definitely good news. Since 1953 that I know of.
Do we want to talk about the policy, or we're not going to have a
Well,
note?
it's pretty short. I think it's option 1, option 2, or keep the same.
Oh yeah, I came up with that.
Yeah.
Right? Well, my town, I said I would look at where I work in New Hampshire to see. Ours is option B, though they allow you to ask to use your personal days if you need to. That's the one difference. I forgot that detail when I wrote option B. That you could request to use them. So if something happened, the new hire unit, it's like, oh, they clearly need to use it, you can give them permission. I think that's with all leave, probably.
Yeah, select board permission.
Yeah. So this is where we're looking at this camera, I guess, the employee policy for earned paid leave. Currently, it's awarded upon
Higher.
start date or higher. We're looking into either delaying, so we said,
Just earning it, not
Or
giving
just
it
earning it.
all
Right,
the
right.
first day.
advance.
Earning it as
Earn it,
they
you
go.
can get it after a year or something.
Yeah,
It
or
should
6
be-
months,
Yeah.
get
I
half
get
of
it
it
at
or
6
something.
months, and if I use it too, if I had to use it, they'll just credit, they could do it, but
And this is for the hired employees.
Yeah.
I would go with like 6 months, bro. It seems, that was what I put option B down, because that's what my term has. It's like a probationary thing, but
6 months you earn half, or
I get the whole thing.
the whole thing.
But I had to use it by the end of the year, which I thought was stupid, because I'm getting 140 hours in August. I mean, this is taking a lot of time off before the end of the year, and it has a lot of work to do. Yeah. I'm like, so now I have to take 4 months, I'll take 4 weeks of vacation.
You don't have to.
Yes, you do have to, that's part of your compensation.
I've been waiting 6 months for this. This place is driving me crazy. I can't even believe I
Okay, so
made it this
what do you
far.
want me to, how do you want me to write it?
We haven't made a motion yet. I think
Oh,
we're
okay.
still deliberating. We don't have a probation built into our, no, because we're just one employee town,
Yeah.
basically. We have no reason we'd want to hold it over the person's head, like, so if you weren't good, like a probation max. So I would just say, change this one, this is not our current one.
Right, no.
I kind of like the earned. But that means they'll get 1 per month, and they can use it right away, right after they earn it.
After a month,
Yeah.
you get 1 day, after.
You get 1, yeah, not 12.
If you don't use it and 2 months go by, you've got 2 to use.
We can kick the can down the road too. We're not gonna hire anyone new anytime soon.
Yeah, how many people does this affect?
1. Oh, no.
Well, new hire.
Only new
It's a new
hire.
hire.
The next new hire, which,
Okay.
when was the last?
So, 4 people, right?
Everybody else's grandfather did.
Is elected, is
Yeah.
elected. This
Yeah,
is
there's-
hired.
This
It's
is hired.
different.
Yeah, this is the town's employees.
So
Or
there's like
appointed.
4 of you.
I mean,
Elected.
No,
Or
elected and
elected
appointed
is
is different
us.
than hired.
Oh my god, I'm gonna smack my head off the wall.
So it was Brandon when he got hired.
Gotcha.
He's
So
the
I can
hired
write it
employee.
like you just said, and then bring it to the next meeting, and you can
Yeah, let's do
approve
that.
it, or not approve it, or adjust it, at least think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And I'll have it written up, and you guys can decide, and then maybe Dawn will be back, and she can weigh in on the decision.
Yeah, yeah.
If that sounds
I don't think
okay.
it's pressing, so, but I agree, we should button this up for sure.
Yeah, okay, great, thank you.
Alright, next, we're in department updates. We'll start with Dorothy, or, I guess, we'll start with Dorothy since I said so. Hi Dorothy, I decided to start with you because you're right here, so,
Okay.
I moved you up from wherever you were,
Okay.
middle.
So you've got an errors and omissions form there that needs to be signed. The first, these are, changes that we found since we filed the grand list. So the Spectrum, one is, the state has changed it so that there's, in the past, their, equipment was personal property, and now it's gonna be taxed as real property, but Spectrum didn't get their information in time.
Is that
It was-
lawsuit thing?
It was supposed to be in, like May 1st, and they still haven't gotten it in. So we're gonna get information somewhere between August and September, and then we'll update the grand list at that point.
Gotcha.
So it will,
It was the form that was signed, the bypass
Yeah.
BCA.
Yeah,
so it'll increase the grand list. And then the second one is a property that we just realized that was, they own 1.3 acres, which wasn't on the grant list, so we've added that in. And they'll be getting, both of those will be getting a change of appraisal, once we get this form signed, and then this will become part of the grant list. So we just need you to sign it. So you're gonna have the spectrum is on there now with what the current value is, and then once we get the new value, it'll be on, we'll do another one, we'll do another change of appraisal. And so we'll wait, at some point I'll need to get Dawn to sign that
Yeah,
also.
so we'll put this in the folder.
We got a letter from the state about doing a reappraisal, we get a letter every year. So I submitted the same form that I've done for the last 2 years, the RA 308, form that's got what our plan is for the reappraisal for starting in 2027, be completed by 2029, and then also included in that, the NIMRIC, that we've got a contract with NIMRIC that they're gonna do a reappraisal. So I did, resubmit that to the state, and I actually got a response that yes, they had gotten it. I've sent it in the last 2 years and nobody ever said they got it, so, that's been done, and we've got our paperwork in for that. Justin is gonna come to the August 4th meeting to give his 6-month update. He'll be here, that day, and he just asked if we could put him, at the beginning of the meeting, right after the,
We have an August 4th meeting?
We do.
Was that with the weird one where we picked a day because of scheduling? Okay. I
Set the
remember
tax
that.
rate and all that.
Okay.
if we can put him right at the beginning after the adjustment to the agenda.
I'll write it down there, so I don't forget.
And then I had a couple questions when you get to the grant, but I'll talk about them when you get to the grants.
Okay.
That's all I've got for today.
Alright, I'll go this way.
Do highway.
Highway.
We got right-of-way permits that were approved, that came in from NEK Broadband to cut across the road, two different properties. You need a curb cut, right-of-way permit, Harold signed off on, and now you have to sign.
Are they going across the road?
Yep, I think they got it mapped right there. What's that address?
Do we charge for these?
$30 each.
Okay.
And I got the check today.
We don't charge for burn permits, obviously, right?
Are you signing the right thing?
Oh, I signed where the property owner is supposed to sign.
Backside.
You want to hold his hand?
That's all right. Well,
Who is this? Oh, it's one of the neighbors on the East Side Drive, sorry.
the backside where it says select board.
Mm-hmm. Let's see that. We don't have to make motions, just sign. That's it.
Harold's hoping they get started now. It does say in there by fall, but he's hoping that it'll be a pain to grade it and everything.
I think like once they get these, they're pretty quick. I mean, I thought like I signed up for one of these things and I was like, oh, it's gonna take months for them to install. And then they were just literally there like 2 weeks later and didn't call. And just saw guys digging in my yard. And I was like, ooh, getting internet's better.
Did it happen that day? You had internet?
No. It's sitting there like a conduit sticking out of the ground. It was supposed to happen tomorrow, but that got moved.
Okay, thank you.
Do we all need to sign these or just two? Fine.
Two's probably though.
No, it's okay. You got any updates from Harold? No, he's got the new truck.
Got the new truck.
Yeah. Working on fixing the old one to sell.
I saw it out of the garage the other day. Drive's moving. I don't know if it went left the property, but. Anything else?
He was gonna contact a dealer to see what he should
Muffler
ask.
basket or something?
Well, and ask
Oh.
what he should value it at to be in the ballpark at to get billed. So I don't know if you got heard back from him,
Yeah.
but he's gonna put it on that site he usually puts it on.
Yeah. That's it.
Treasurer.
I don't have much, just, I've been working on second quarter processing and, doing that. We, are working on changing from official payments to municipay, like I told you. So that's been a little process, still working on it. I'm working on the tax insert that goes with the tax paper so we can have our new municipay on there. And then Mike, we gotta set a date for State of Vermont closeout.
Yeah, sorry, but I was like, oh shoot, let's at least send them an email. And
Yeah,
then you
so
told
they
me.
extended it quite a while, but,
Yeah, they gave us another month.
Yeah,
so I was like,
right,
oh, okay. I was like, gonna
So-
try and do it before this meeting,
yeah,
and then I
so
was
you
like, forget
pick a
that.
date and I will be available.
It'll happen very soon
All
because
right.
I want to get it out of the way.
Yeah, right, and you did it really quick.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think it would,
Well, because I made sense of what they were. Because at
Yeah.
first it was like confusing, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think this time should be quicker, even
right,
quicker.
okay, so just let me know when and we can do it.
I'll
And that's
find
it.
time.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah. Carrie.
So we have this letter, Rural Edge would like to rent the building and have no fee, so I told them to write a little letter, and they did. So if you guys wanna approve no fee, I think you can, where I marked right there, it says what, black mark on the side, what they're doing, safety and,
We will cover basic emergency preparedness and safety.
yeah, we just wanna have a little event thing.
So, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just let them know that they can, it's
Yeah.
August 5th.
Yeah. 4:30 to 6:30. No one's using it that night. Obviously, we checked that. Yeah.
So I did hear from a lady to the Caledonia County National Resources Conservation District that's she's gonna try to help us do a little more with our DWP grant behind Upper Valley Grove.
Yeah.
So there's NVDA funds to help push along the FEMA buyout properties and assist in that. She doesn't know if anything falls into what they can do, but she took the information that we sent her and she's gonna check into it. It's also another property she's gonna possibly do a site visit on to see if there's anything she can help with there, but that's just
Is it the one
beginning.
without septic?
It's the one that,
Good.
yeah. Well, it needs some riverbank help and possible help with everything that we see.
Yeah.
But so she has that information and she's just waiting on a few things. We have the education rates have come in from the state, and residential rate is higher than non-residential, which is only the second time I think has happened since I've been here. But then I've heard that's the whole state that happened to because of the way the state did their adjustments. So it's not just Groton. The education rate for the residents went up 0.23 of a point, 1.74 to 1.98. The non-residential rate gone from 1.92 to 1.93, so theirs barely moved. And ours, I don't mean to say it like
They
theirs
must have
are.
used like less of our money to lower the education rate, like less general money of some sort. I don't know. You're a financial person. I don't understand that.
I do not work.
That's what's like.
agency applications, so I don't follow their big bill at all.
So now that's a new thing, I think that they did this last year, and maybe one more year they did it, where, cause all the CLAs were so bad, they put in a state average, and that kinda helped everyone's bad CLA. So now, whatever's been done has flopped it a little bit, but.
Of course.
So, with the town rate being so much, we've used a lot of fund balance, if everyone remembers that you decided on all that. So the town rate is fairly reasonable. It's gonna make, this isn't final figures, this is just me looking at it right now. The residential rate, the whole town rate, roughly up 0.15. And that's not very much, so that's a good thing.
That is good.
The non-residential rate down 0.07. Again, this is just plugging in the first numbers and not really going over it 6 or 8 or 10 times and making sure it's right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
So,
promising.
it's good, but everyone is also gonna have to remember next year, we're not gonna have all that fund balance that you used.
Yeah,
Education rates will still be out of whack,
yeah.
and it's gonna leapfrog over what it would have gone up this year and go up, in my mind, I think, unless something else
We'll
changes.
still get blamed for higher tax bills, regardless.
But I did hear that someone in Rygate said they set their tax rate, and she figured her tax bill is going up $1,800. So,
And own a huge house on a lot of land. Holy crap.
so that's not gonna be us this year, but can't speak for after that. So that's just a work in progress. We'll, get the little adjustments that come through and finalize the tax rate spreadsheet for you guys to look at and approve next meeting. That will be on the agenda, approve the tax rate. And then, like Lisa said, working on the insert and
Yeah.
the new municipay will be a nice way. That's also gonna add the ability to pay for permits. I get calls, well, can I pay for that online? No. Can I
Same here.
give you my credit card over the phone? No. So this
This
will
will help.
solve that.
That's
Bringing
helpful.
it to this century or whatever.
Before, a town with a $17 million budget in New Hampshire, but we don't have the ability to take credit cards.
Yeah, so that will help a little. I mean, people do have that ability right now to pay their taxes
Yeah.
online.
Yep.
But this will do that plus the
Any-
little things, plus we're gonna have the card readers in the office.
Yeah,
Nice.
great.
So that will really be good.
We could charge for burn permits and make them sign off that they're liable for burning the town down.
Well, he does give a permit, so it could be signed off on with that, whether it would hold up in anything, but.
I wouldn't know, I was told no both times I asked, so.
Cause didn't we see actual permits? Yeah. That is all I have.
We have anything from the constable?
He's done everything, I reached out to him, he's gonna help with that property, cause he needs to go with the lady for the site visit. And,
We
Ask
purchased some
approval.
supplies too for him, so he's very interested and he's trying to help and.
yeah, every time I email or text, he jumps right on. I had some dogs up by my house, not my house, but nearby, and I told him where, and he went up and got them and brought them into the office.
Yeah, brought him into the office.
It's like, no, thank you. And then I told him where the owner was, and he brought him up there. So, and the girl came in the next day and licensed them, so.
So he has like a lanyard and he's got dog kennel crate that just came and he's looking for a hook to help rally
Yeah.
the dog. So, all this stuff is coming in
And bear spray or something.
yeah, bear spray and one other spray too. But anyways, it's great. He's
Yeah.
being very helpful.
Nice. Well, very good.
Yep.
I'll give a quick zoning update. Been a little quiet. I guess I just issued about 4 permits.
Yeah.
I've got one coming in.
I've got one that went out, the form went out to come
Yeah,
back.
those
today.
are all set, or 3 or 4? 4, yeah. And then there's one coming in from the lake. They just got approval from the state for their project, and so should be dropping it off with you soon, Carrie.
Okay.
And then I got a couple other just sort of dangling out there. I've added Stimson. Did you get the Stimson?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So that one's all set.
You're still the one that we're waiting on payment and,
Yeah. Well, I don't do anything with them. I asked them a few questions and they didn't
yeah,
respond. So.
I have your email.
I do too. Yeah. I guess I'd ask them again, but I'm like, well, if you haven't paid, like, I don't know.
And he responded to that email, he knows that's what.
Yeah, this is where relevant.
Yeah.
Well, then I asked questions about like kitchen water and
Oh, yeah, that
water,
was that
and they
one.
didn't respond. Like questions that the state says you're supposed to ask.
Cause it's supposed to be something that you stay in, but you need to have,
Yeah, well, there's certain triggers if they're doing certain things with the water or treating it a certain way that causes some things, and then you're supposed to encourage them to site their house so that they can accommodate a septic system in the future, because what happens to these houses, they become actual houses usually. So you're supposed to ask them questions like that. They didn't respond to any of them. Just was like, have you considered this, and what are you doing for that? So we'll see.
probably should drive up and see
Yeah, you told, I know.
if
Yeah.
it's not already just all built now, and,
Is it already?
I don't know, I just mean, like,
There's a history of that on that road, so I should go check. Health officer, other than emails, trainings and things I'm supposed to take, I haven't
I
gotten
haven't seen anything on
any
it.
calls. There was like some mandatory training, and I was like, it's like at 1 o'clock on some day. I was like, I can't take that. And then afterwards, they're like, did you miss the mandatory training? Here's a recording of it. I was like, oh, sweet, all right. I'll not watch that some other time. Or I forgot what it was about though. It was about something that seemed more big city. I forgot what it was. Anyway, so nothing else there. Do we have any interest in zoning? No, administrator. All right, one of these days.
I'll be glad it's a little quiet in a way, we're already middle of summer.
All right, I'm gonna rattle through grants here really quickly. MERP, we submitted our quarterly report. Yeah, we did the reimbursement, or we haven't received a second check from Lime Green, or second invoice from Lime Green Heat yet. Okay, you're gonna let me know immediately, and we're gonna put in a reimbursement. Okay, good. I have my second one, so it should be easy. Land Water Conservation Fund report, and this is for the Veterans
Park.
Memorial Park. Every 5 years, I think, you have to do like a report about the park. I went down there, and there's unfortunately vandalism everywhere for the day I went to take the pictures. And I know Steve is now working to get rid of the graffiti, but there was spray paint on everything. So I went and took some pictures to follow up, so this way the report shows we didn't just had a problem and just did nothing. And even though I state we would, I thought it would be nice to have afterwards pictures. So that'll get submitted shortly. I'm not gonna talk about the Gateway Park signs, we'll figure that out another day. We did get the permit for the Wells River cleanup, as we are the permittee, even though USDA is the person.
And have we confirmed that they're doing the work?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because I told her we would give the money back. I shouldn't say that. As a sort of
But we haven't received the money to give back, but we would.
Well, I told them if we're gonna do the lion's share of this work, that we probably weren't interested anymore, because it just.
I just was hoping I was gonna see it on here that.
No, they said basically I'm party to it. We're party to it. We're the permittee, but they go ahead and do all the. So yeah, I was like, so you promise you're gonna hold my hand, just hold our hands, and we're just. She goes, you're just along for the ride. So we are, I think, in good shape.
Okay, good.
I hope. On that.
And this this has a deadline?
October, whatever the last day you can work in water is. I think it's the 15th or the 31st.
October 1st.
First, yeah. So there's a working in water construction season that the state has. Outside of that, you cannot work in surface waters. All right, public, other business.
I'll just say too, elections coming up, the primary August 11th. So that's where you get all 3 ballots. You only vote on 1, but the other 2 have to be turned in. They're not gonna be all mailed to you automatic. This is if you do want an absentee, then you need to get a hold of me. You
When do
can't,
they need to get a hold of you by?
well,
Just publicly saying
August
before the
7th. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever time you can get it and get it back to me by August
Yeah.
11th. But you can only, in hand, can only go to you. I can't give you I can't give Larry and then he takes Darlene's. It has to
Right.
be mailed to the other person, or the actual person takes their own ballot. So just remember that, it's return the other 2 you don't vote on, only vote on 1.
Yep.
That's August 11th.
So can we use the tabulator for that?
Yes, thank goodness, because that's 3 actual elections that go through it. All 3 ballots. That was it I wanted to say.
I just had a question about I don't remember what it's about, the community building project. Hold on. I had a note. Oh, this kitchen sink, was it repaired after last fall foliage day?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
little hole and we got it replaced,
And the-
got it, patched.
And the
I
leak
think-
in the
And there
drain.
was,
They might need to move it for the insulation back here, so I just wanted to flag that if it was broken, that it got fixed when they do that, so.
It's fixed.
Okay, I thought it was, but I wanted to check. And then the last thing I'll say is that, and you guys know that steeple lights are in, and they could change the colors on all but the north side remotely. The north side is connected by Bluetooth, so you just stand underneath that light bulb to.
So change it back to red, white, and blue,
Do you think so? You don't like the white? It's too bright.
at least for this rest of summer.
I told you, yeah, no, I have it on white right now just so people could see how it looks white, you know?
Yeah.
There's not been much feedback, and I think in the winter, when there's no leaves on the trees, you're gonna see it from all around, and it's actually like winter lights that would be a lot of
Yeah,
fun
right.
to play with.
But red, white, and blue would be nice.
Okay, I'll go back to red,
Yeah.
white, and blue. I have to go there after 7 p.m. They're on a timer now. They weren't, I don't know if we pay the electric bill for those, but they weren't on a timer before, so the lights were just on constantly. You have to like stick your hand out, you know, if you drop it, it's going down, but now they're on a timer.
Good.
We can switch it. I think I was gonna talk to the church and see like if they have some event where they wanna switch it, or, you know, I was like trying to think what's not annoying for someone who has control of it. But, you know, like if someone has a boy, you can turn
Is
it
it
blue.
multiple colors or
Oh,
like their
yeah.
standard one?
Oh, everything you want. We got the,
So Halloween, it could be orange.
yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
We got the kind of top of the line ones where you can actually make the lights go like around in circles.
Ah.
I have not figured that out yet, but I like the red, white, and blue. It kind of looks like the flag.
Yeah.
I can set that back to that,
Yeah, it'd be nice.
and will.
That'd be good. We also will say, if people noticed, the project around the back of the building, they cleaned
really
out the
coming
rock
away.
wall and
Yeah.
the walkways coming along.
Yep. I was gonna say that, and I
Yeah,
forgot about that
I know,
'cause it
it's
jumped. But it does look great back there.
Yeah,
And that was through that grant money, so that's
Yeah,
not taxpayer.
nice. Anything else?
Oh, the ball fields, if we wanna just jump to
Oh.
the follow-up, I did hear, I messaged him again. He said he was hoping this week that he was available, and he would let me, know as soon as possible to give you time, because I said that you were available basically any
Yeah,
time.
just text me.
Yep,
Yeah,
so
good.
that's where we're at with that.
All right, I'll add the sign. I need to just ask the state, we bought these with VORIC money for the Gateway Park and the rail bed. The question is, we made a couple extras, they're huge. We really have no need for these ones. We have the nice ones, and there's like other little signs. So the question would be to the state, can we use this for like our other recreation? We have 2 of them. They're the other one's the opposite, so it's that way, backward.
Could it
And
say
if-
no lake access on it?
No, we don't wanna use these nice signs there. I think we use them for, the 2 ball fields.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
I was gonna ask the state, not for money, we would have to pay for whatever
Yeah.
the sticker that goes over this that says the names of the fields.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I was hoping to ask them before tonight, and I didn't. And so once they say yes, I think if it's
Bufferfield might have a sign, but does it?
Yeah,
I think
it
so,
does.
but,
it has like a wood, I think a wood.
Yeah.
yeah.
But either way, I mean,
Yeah, no, that's
it
good.
kind of would look nice. I don't
Yeah.
know. We can think of other things too, but there's 2 of these left over. The steel was donated, so that is not paid for with state funds, but the stickers were grant funded. So
Good.
supposed to use them at the park. That's it.
Okay, sign orders, there's plenty in there, Mike, to sign.
Oh yeah.
So next meeting, August 4th, so you got the tax rate, the policy,
Yeah.
hopefully that's it.
Justin wants to do that.
And Justin.
Interesting.
Oh, Justin first, yes.
Thank you.
All right, I'm not hearing anything else. I'll make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.